In this lecture, in this lecture 3 of week 6, we're going to see how to do some unit tests for a smart contract in OpShin. So we have this simple contract here called negative hour timed. And if you look at the validator, so it's a spending smart contract, so it has a datum. And if you look at this validator, basically it checks two things. So first of all, the redeemer, which is just an integer number, must be at most 0. So yeah, actually it should be called maybe not negative hour timed, but non-positive hour timed. And then the second condition basically checks that a certain deadline that is provided in the datum, which has been previously added to the UTXO locked at the smart contract, that the deadline contained in this datum has already passed. So the validity range of the current transaction must be contained in the interval from deadline to infinity, basically, which is what this function make from gives us. Okay, so we have this contract with these two conditions. Now we want to look into how we could test it. So I guess one way that we could have some simple unit tests would be just to try to come up with a bunch of values for the two kind of variables here. One variable is the deadline and the other one is the redeemer value. And yeah, given the combination of these two, we would want the validator to return true or false, respectively. And so how can we do this? So we have this unit test here in this test script, and it basically just runs the smart contract. So we have here two methods. So for the run one, we kind of would expect it to go through, and for the run fails one, we would want it to fail. And yeah, you can see here kind of this PyTest syntax that allows you to do some function annotations like this, just as a simpler way to kind of parameterize instead of kind of writing a bunch of lines where you run it for all the different parameters. You can just here give the parameters and the respective values. So for deadline 50 and minus 42, we would basically want it to pass because the redeemer is negative and we would be after this deadline, as we will see later in the run function. And then, yeah, in these cases where the deadline is very high, basically it should always be false because we're not after the deadline yet. And yeah, if you want to learn more about how to use these function annotations in PyTest, I'm not going to go into this now, but you can basically look at the PyTest documentation, and yeah, it gives all the details and a lot of examples on this. So let's see what actually happens with this run method. So basically what we're going to do is we set up, as we've seen before, set up some mock context and two kind of mock users. And then, yeah, we found, we can look at this setup, but basically it's just setting up the context, the mock context, and then set up some users that are funded with each 100 ADA. And then what we do when we run it, we basically first lock some ADA at the smart contract with a certain datum that includes this deadline slot. And then we wait here for 60 slots, and then wait here for 60 slots, and then we would kind of let the user 2 try to unlock again. So note that we have this 60 here, because here we kind of want that if we choose 50 as a deadline, then 60 should be after it, so that we can pass this case. And if we have the deadline as 5,000, then 60 will of course be before. So let's also have a look at what happens in these lock and unlock functions. So in the lock function, basically, yeah, we again build the transaction. We use the PyCardano transaction builder as we would for regular chain context. Only that, of course, here is much faster because we only use this mock context. So we create first the datum that contains this deadline that we set. And then we add just an input from user one's address, and we make an output at the script address. And yeah, we include this datum in the output such that we get the desired script utexo with datum. And okay, then after this waiting time, we would try to unlock. And what happens in the unlock? So here we would collect again this utexo from the script. And then we basically add it as a script input. We use our redeemer, which is exactly going to take these different values of R that we want to test. And we set validity period accordingly. And we sign and submit the transaction. Okay, so now we want to see what happens when we actually run these tests. Because this file also has some hypothesis tests that we're only gonna get to in the next lecture, I will uncomment them for now. And yeah, let's just try this. So pytest tests negative R timed. And we see that pytest will find these 6 tests that we have here, and all of them are passing as expected. So if, let's say, one of them here was kind of expecting false instead, then during the test we would see that this case is a failure. Okay, that's it for the unit tests, and now these hypothesis tests that I just uncommented, we're going to discuss them in the next lecture.